All right, now we're going to paint our daisy composition, and I'm going to start right here off center with a Gerber daisy. I'm going to make this one a light pink color. I've got brilliant pink here. Got a little bit of the quinacridone rose there too. Alright, so I'm going to start right here with these little petals. Alright, I'm going to leave that here to dry. And I want to make sure I leave enough space that I have lots of room for my petals. And I'm going to come up here and do a second Gerber daisy. Now this one's going to be on an angle, so if it's easier, actually I'll just paint in a little circle here. I'm going to cover that up later with some black. But this will just help give me a guide to know where my petals should be going. Alright, and then over here, I'm going to paint a really soft daisy. And actually, I'm going to wait until I get these petals in place because I want this to feel really tight and close together. So I'll paint my first layer of petals. And I'm going to extend these longer. I think it's a little bit easier to paint the underneath layer first and then go over the top with a darker color. I did it differently in the single daisy video, but this way's a little bit easier, whatever you prefer. Okay, now I can come over here and paint in my petals for this other daisy. And this is a more simple, like a Shasta daisy. And this one's going to be more at an angle. I'm seeing more of those front petals, and then toward the back they're going to look a little bit shorter. And what's fun about daisies is you can use them for your filler flowers as well, just make them a little bit smaller. So that's what I'm going to do right here. So I'm going to paint a few small daisies here. And these I'm just doing like little dashes with my paintbrush because the petals are so small. Alright, and I'll do one more. I'm going to make this one a little bit more purple. We'll do one more daisy down here. Alright, now I'm going to start adding in some leaves. I've got hooker's green, a little bit of permanent green, and then I'm going to mix in a little bit of this quinacridone rose, just so it isn't super vibrant. Now over here it's pretty obvious to me where I need to place leaves, just because I have a big flower right here that I can tuck them into, and down here I'm going to add a few. But over here it's a little more tricky because I've got some filler flowers happening, I've got this angled daisy, so I'm going to hold off over here, and I like to start where things make sense. So I'm actually going to add some little stems in here to kind of connect these little daisies to the composition. And I'm also going to add in some leaves with those. Now you could totally add in more daisies if you wanted this to be more full. I just chose to break it up with some greenery. I'm just adding some little berry fillers in here, kind of break it up a little bit. I definitely don't always plan these out before I start painting, so you get to hear my thought process and why I'm putting things where I am and why I'm choosing certain elements. And I've chosen to put in some sprigs here just to break up some of the leaves. I've got a lot of big leaves happening over here, and this is just going to help break that up a little bit. Alright, now we get to go in and add our second layer of petals in here. And I'm just going to go in with a darker quinacridone rose, a little bit of the brilliant pink, and a little bit of water to soften that up just a little bit. And then I'll go right over the top and then paint in my second layer. Now these, I didn't really do that over here, but I'm going to space these apart just a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to grab my size 0 round brush and just start adding in some small details to my leaves and to some of these petals once they're all the way dry. I kind of love when stuff like this happens, where the purple bleeds into the green and then I go over the top to define it with these little details, but I love those little color bleeds that I don't plan on. I didn't realize that that center was still wet, so I'll just go over the top with my paper towel and I'm just going to press down and then I'll let this dry completely and then add the yellow center back in. Okay, while that continues to dry, I'm just going to go in, keep adding some details here.